kisses, hope you smile when you listen. Ain't no competition, just competing for attention. And you lie. I'm not on the game, but lately you've been peeping and it ain't been cocoa butter kisses, hope you smile when you listen. Ain't no competition, just competing for attention. And you lie. I'm not on no games, but lately I've been peeping and you ain't been the same. Like who been on your mind? Who on your time? Y'all, I'm low-key high-key sick, but that's okay though. Let me your slime, and now you take me like my worth in a time. And if you paint it perfect, you make it last forever. You the only one I wanna wear my orange sweat. What's up with the title? We're gonna get to it because stuff keeps happening in my life, and I'm like, am I in the wrong? Am I the asshole in the situation? Am I the asshole, or is they the asshole? But we're gonna get into it. Cause stuff be happening with my mama, stuff be happening with friends, stuff be happening with my girlfriend. I'm like, I can't. Why am I holding a paintbrush? I don't know. But I can't be in the wrong in all of these situations. There's no way. Am I the asshole? Cause there's no way. There's no way. I don't know who to start with first. I think I'll start with my mom first, but I'm low-key trying to wait for Presley to join, but I might just get started. I found this video of Sophia Blusher. I don't know who that is. Sophia Bush. I don't know who that is. Hey, Layla. And we can make it last forever, cause you the only one I wanna wear my orange sweater. Yeah, we got drama. Oh, I'm not the drama. I'm not the asshole. Okay. Let me tell you what happened. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. So what happened was, this is so stupid. This happened, what's today? Today is Sunday. This happened on Friday. Last time you were live was when you first got your locks. What? Okay. I guess I'll get started. Nice monkey. What? The strip club, I'm never going back, never going back. No, you can't make me. Never going back, never going back. I don't know what happened to Roxy, bro. I went to her channel and I left a comment on her community post and she liked it. Like, I told her, I don't remember exactly what I said. This was like a month ago. I told her, like, I missed her and I asked her if, like, anything was happening, anything was going on. And if anything's going on, she could reach out to me and I'll help her in any way. Because remember when she was in the chat, she got really sad because I think her dad died or something like that. And she had to handle the will or something. I don't know. But I had left a comment and I was like, you know, you need help, whatever. And maybe 2 days later, she liked it, but then she never answered. I don't know what happened to Roxy, and she's not a member anymore. She's not paying a membership anymore. I don't know what's happening. No, don't tell me it was ass. Me and my girlfriend were supposed to go see Zootopia 2. Don't tell me it's ass, bro. Zootopia is like one of my favorite movies. Hey, Kiera. Hey, Kiera. Okay. Something. Alright, so alright, where do I start? Let's rewind. So the stuff that happened on Friday, I'm gonna get to it. But let's start with let's rewind. Let's go back to me going to therapy, okay, right? Y'all know I started therapy, right? I got a therapist, I've been going to therapy. Whatever, bro. Okay. One of the things, well, y'all already know one of the biggest problems in my life is my mom, bro. So I was talking to my therapist, whatever. She gave me advice on how to handle that, right? But her main thing was, she just said, put your foot down. Like, whenever y'all get it, like, whenever something happens between y'all, put your foot down. And like, you know what I'm saying? Because usually I just be putting, like, a pinky toe down. But, you know, she's like, that's not enough. You got to put your foot down. You got to stand on what you really say for real, right? So when my mama tell me to do certain things, or she says certain things, I put my foot down on it. I don't just say okay, yes, ma'am, and hush up and do whatever, whatever. I put my foot down, right? Okay, okay, okay. So I've been doing that lately, and that's been causing us to literally just keep getting in arguments. I don't even know what I told y'all. Did I tell y'all? I have to go way back if I didn't tell y'all this. Did I tell y'all when she ignored me for 3 days straight? Someone, because if I didn't get to that, I gotta tell y'all that too. Did I tell y'all when she ignored me for 3 days straight? I think so. Did I tell y'all? Did I tell y'all? I made it. No? Okay. Okay. Let's rewind. Okay, so I gotta even remember all the details. So what happened was, like 2 weeks ago, my brother was sick, right? Like he was really sick. He was at this point, he was probably sick for like 2 weeks. At that point, he already, uh, what am I talking about? Okay, he's at that point he's been sick for like 2 weeks, right? But his symptoms all of a sudden got worse. He started throwing up, so they went to the emergency room, right? The day that they went to the emergency room, usually I get home like around 10 o'clock because practice is like 9 or something like that. So I usually get home really late. But that day, oh, thank you for the gift, thank you for the gift, thank you for the gift, y'all. Gifts are actually money. Like that's actually crazy. I appreciate y'all so much. Anyway, so yeah, so that was happening between us. I didn't even get there yet. There's nothing happening between us yet. Hold on, rewind. So thank you for the gifted 100. Thank you. So basically, what happened was, that day that they went to the emergency room, I usually get home around 10. This time I got home around like 3 o'clock. No, I got home like 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that. But I got home really early, and I was like, yes, because I had planned on making some actual YouTube videos, making some shorts, doing my homework, cleaning my room. Like I was like, I'm home early, I can do all these things. She ends up saying, "Hey, let's thank you for the gifted. Thank you so much." Ends up saying, you should come to the emergency room with us. I said, no, I don't want to go to the emergency room with y'all because I literally came home today to do all this stuff that I have to do. I've been needing to do this stuff for so long. I've never got the chance because I've been so busy. I came home early. I skipped practice because I want to get stuff done. And she's like, no, come to the emergency room with us. And I'm like, why do I have to go to the emergency room with y'all? I was like, if my brother told me he wanted me to go to the emergency room with him, then I will go to the emergency room with him. But he didn't say that. I asked him, I said, do you really want me to go to the emergency room with you? He said, I honestly don't care. Like, I don't care. He said, you really don't have to come because that'll be boring. You're just going to be like sitting in a waiting room and then sit in the room. It take a long time. No, you don't have to come. I don't care. And then my mom was like, no, you have to come. And I was like, I literally said, I went to the emergency room, what was that, like 2 months ago? And when I was in the emergency room, you didn't make my brother come, so why do I have to come? Like, it's the same thing. And then she said, well, you have to come because last time when you went to the emergency room, I didn't make him come because your father came too. I just didn't want to be alone. So I said, okay, so I'm coming with you because you don't want to be alone? And she said, yeah. And I was like, so Dad's not coming? She said, no, he's not coming. Right, okay, right. So, but then we get to the hospital, and lo and behold, my dad comes because why would he come if his son's in the emergency room? So she just lied to me, first of all, because I know she knew he was coming. So anyway, so she just wanted me to go in there. So I was already irritated because I was like, I had been planning on doing all this stuff. I took off practice to do everything I had to do, and I don't even get to do it because you're forcing me to go to the emergency room with you. So and he decided I didn't even have to come. Like, you only want me to come. So whatever, I come, right? So now I'm in the emergency room, and I'm just annoyed because I didn't want to be there, so I had an attitude. I'm not gonna lie, I had an attitude because I don't want to be there. You're forcing me to be here for what? For what? So I'm in there, and y'all, like, if I would have went to practice, I would have got home earlier because when I go to practice and stuff, I get home at like around, like I said, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Because I had to go to the emergency room, I didn't get home till 12 a.m. and then have to wait. Y'all, I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to get ready for class and stuff. Like, bro, so she just threw everything off by making me go. But anyway, so yeah, I'm sitting there. You're so pretty. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, so I'm in there. I'm annoyed. Like, I'm not in the mood. My mom's trying to talk to me. I don't want to hear it. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. Right? So I'm like I said, and in this like in this moment, I can admit I was being rude, like I was being unnecessarily rude, right? And she was like, "Can you stop acting like that? Like, why are you acting like that?" I said, "I'm acting like that because I didn't even want to come, and you made me come. You would have made me come. Like, I don't want to be here. I have stuff to do. I have homework. I have this. I have that. And you got me in here for what?" And then she was like, "Just fix your attitude, whatever." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay," because like I said. Y'all, my friend just texted me and said King Von is dead with a question mark. Is he really dead? When did he die? Is this real? Y'all, King Von died how many years ago? Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, so I said all that, and I was like I said, I was like, okay, fine, I am being rude, I am being mean. Let me, be normal. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm accepting the fact that I'm gonna be in this room, this emergency room, for however long, whatever. I accepted, whatever. So now I'm being my normal self. I'm talking, and then my dad. So at that point, my dad walked in, and I was like, "Damn, you lied," because he came. But I was like, whatever. So at this point, I'm being like normal. I'm being myself. I'm trying to sure he's my brother's like laying in bed in the hospital bed like sick, doesn't feel good. So I'm trying to talk to him, make him laugh. I'm talking to everybody, make my mom laugh, whatever. The nurse comes in finally after we wait for I don't even know how long we was waiting before she walked in. But the nurse comes in, and I'm not gonna lie. She looked a little off, okay? I'm not trying to be rude. She just looked off, okay? But the way she looked, I was cool. Like, I wasn't gonna bust out laughing or nothing like that when she came in. However, when she started talking, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it's like she talked so low and so fast that you had no idea what she was saying. It just sounded like she was mumbling. So after everything she was saying, I was busting out laughing because I was like, this is freaking hilarious. And you can see everybody trying to hold it together, but I couldn't hold it together. I was laughing, right? And every time I was laughing, my mom kicked my leg to make me stop laughing. I was like, I get it. Like I'm not mad at her for kicking my leg for laughing because I'm laughing at this woman. This woman didn't do nothing to me. She's just being herself and I'm laughing at her. Like you could kick me for that. Like that's on me. So I didn't think anything of it. But then the nurse left the room and I was doing what I was been doing, being normal, trying to make everybody laugh. And for some reason, at this point, every time I made a joke, my mom kicked me, and I was like, "Oh, why is you kicking me every time I make a joke?" And she was like, "You're doing too much." And I was like, "Doing too much, but you told me to not have an attitude, and now I don't have an attitude. I'm being jovial, making jokes and stuff, and now you're kicking me, telling me I need to stop. So now I'm aggravated because you keep kicking me. I told you to stop kicking me, and you keep kicking me, and so now I'm annoyed. So now I'm back how I was when I first got to the hospital. I got an attitude again. I'm like I'm irritated. Every time she tries to talk to me, I'm not really talking to her. Like I'm irritated, right? And then she's like, "What is this attitude?" So we go through the same cycle again. So then I go back to acting normal. Okay. But like she keeps like just doing little things, like poking me, just like tapping my shoulder, kicking my leg, just being annoying, honestly. And I was like, "Please stop touching me. I don't want to be touched anymore. You're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much." And she, for the rest of the night, but she just kept saying, "Stop! Like you're acting like I'm touching you in a bad way. I'm just touching you. Like it's not that big of a deal. Deal with it." And I was like, "Huh, okay, whatever." So, and then rest of the night. Fast forward, we in there for hours. Nurse come in, they say my brother has his that, no, he'll be okay. He can take off the rest of the week of school. They give him a shot in his butt, and we bounce. Okay, so at this point when we bounced, we was walking in the parking lot and we was talking, laughing, everybody being normal through. But she kept poking me and touching me, and I was like, "Please stop touching me because I really don't want to be touched right now. You're really irritating me." Like I didn't say you're really irritating me, but I was just like, "You gotta like chill out. Stop touching me, bro." Okay, so yeah, all of that happens, and I'm like, I don't know why, like all this poking and da 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 da. I can't, bro. So basically, what happens is, she gives me a hug, and I'm like, okay, cool, a hug. I'll take a hug from my mom. That's cool. I don't care. And then she literally, bro, thank you for the 100. She literally like gives me a hug, which is fine, and then she she squeezes me like this. She squeezes me and she pokes me, and I was like, bro, like I didn't do it aggressively, but I said, "Thank you for the gifted." I was like, I don't want to be touched right now. Leave me alone. Type, right? And then she got so mad. Oh my! So before, every time I kept telling her to stop touching me, she just wasn't, you just wouldn't listen and keep touching me anyway. So then what happened was, got in the car and she started yelling at me, y'all. Yelling. Like, what is wrong with you? Oh, why are you being so rude to me? Why are you being mean to me? I'm like, what are you talking about? Being rude to you, what are we talking about here, right? Holy stutter. What are we talking about, right? So she's like, oh, this, you're acting like I'm touching you inappropriately. I'm not touching you inappropriately. I just want to give you a hug. I'm like, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody said nothing about touching me inappropriately. It's not about appropriately. It's not about none of that. The whole thing is, I said I don't want to be touched, and you're touching me anyway. I set up a boundary, and you're disrespecting the boundary. That's the problem. It doesn't matter how you're touching me. I said, and yo, low-key, I was just side note, I was SA before, like maybe 2-3 times. She don't know that though. I never told her. But because of that too, I'm like, when I say don't touch me, do not touch me. Yes, it's about consent. It's literally, do not touch me. I didn't. Oh, ooh, that makes me so mad. So I kept saying, I was like, so we just are going back and forth, yelling, like going back and forth. So now at this point, I start crying, and I'm like, I was trying so hard not to cry because you know how like when you start crying, it just like makes it seem like you're whining or something, but that's not even it. I started crying because I was like, bro, now thank you for the gifted poop. I was like, bro, because now I'm like triggered, and then I'm also like, could we just like, I don't know why me saying don't touch me, I don't know what that's about. And she's like, you told me you wanted me to touch you. You told me you wanted affection, and she's referring to a conversation we had like three, 4 months ago, where I was like, I don't know that you love me because you never tell me, you don't give me any hugs, you don't do anything, you don't do none of that. And when we had that conversation, she was like, okay, I'll give you hugs, this, that, the third, right? So then so that night we was arguing, she brought that back up, and she was like, you wanted hugs, this, that, the third. And I said, yeah, I do want hugs. I still stand by what I said. Hugs are great, but you hugged me, then you pinched me and you poked me after you've been kicking me and poking me and slapping me and pinching me and touching me all night. Leave me alone. I don't want to be touched anymore. I don't understand. And then she started crying while she's yelling at me. And then she was like, "This, you pissed me off. You pissed me off." What are you talking about, bro? She's like, you pissed me off. You pissed me off. And she's like, I'll never hug you again. I'll never hug you again. And I was like, bruh. I said, first of all, I didn't say that. I said, you're so extra. Then I said, this is why I can't communicate anything to you, because you act like this. I'm talking to you and you're yelling at me. And then she was like, I'm yelling because you pissed me off. And I'm like, okay, so that makes it right? And she said, yes, because you pissed me off. I'm like, all right, bro. All right, bro. And then she said, and then you gotta say that BS talking about this is why you don't talk to me. And I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. At that point, I was like, okay. And then she was like, but I'm gonna respect you, and I'm not gonna talk to you, because that's what you want. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. I ain't gonna talk to you. And I was like, all right, bro. So this is on this is like, I think on a Wednesday, maybe Wednesday night. So, but she had already asked me to help her with something Saturday. So keep this in mind, on Saturday we're supposed to be doing something together. So all this stuff happens Wednesday. So then now we're on Thursday. She doesn't say anything to me. So usually when I leave the house, like I say bye, like to go to school, or if she leaves before me go. Which, by the way, she does not leave before I leave to go to work. Usually, okay. Usually I leave and then she leaves. Rarely does she leave first. And when she does leave first, she makes sure to tell me bye before she leaves. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay. So now it's Thursday. I come downstairs. I see her, and as soon as I'm at the bottom of the stairs. She was already walking past the stairs, so I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs about to say hey, because I'm like, whatever, I'm about to say hey to her. And she speed walks past me, like she was walking on normal and slow like she usually does. She saw me, and then she like tried not to make eye contact with me, and she literally sped walk, like literally a sped walk past me. And I was like, okay. And then I left. I didn't say bye to her because obviously she was ignoring me, so why would I say anything to her? So the whole day passes by, and and I'm at my girlfriend's apartment, right? But she doesn't know that. So like I be having to pause my location at school, then I go to my girlfriend's apartment and I just be over there, right? So what happened was I had fell asleep. And usually my mom, she always texts, she you know, she's paranoid and a stalker, so she's always like, where you at, what you doing, where you at, what you doing. She texts me all day long. She didn't text me at all this day. And then I fell asleep on my girlfriend's bed. I woke up at like 6 o'clock. I was out for hours. I woke up at 6 o'clolock. I see a whole bunch of missed calls and mixed texts from my dad, and I'm like, my dad does not, he don't care. Like he's not the type to check up on you constantly like she is. So I was like, I don't think he's really checking up on me. I feel like this is coming from her, but she's trying not to talk to me. So I call him back, and I'm like, what's happening? And he's like, oh, nothing. Your mom just kept asking me where you were, and I was like, I don't know, man. And I was like, she told you to check up on me, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, why didn't she just check on me? And I was like, this is proof that she is ignoring me. I'm not ignoring her. She's ignoring me because I tried to talk to her in the morning. She sped walk past me, like, and she didn't text me all day. She told you to text me. So this is proof. You're ignoring me. So then the next day, she leave. Oh, and by the way, on that day, she also left for work before I went to school, which doesn't happen often, and she didn't say anything. So then fast forward to Friday, same thing happens. She leaves in the morning before I leave, which doesn't happen often. She did that just because she did not want to talk to me. So I'm like, yeah, she's just, oh Lord, yo, my jaw's hurting from talking. So literally, she was just ignoring me. That's further proof. And I'm like, bro, but I was like, y'all, honestly, this was the most peaceful 3 days of my life because I was like, she's leaving me alone. I can do what I want. She's not texting me every 5 seconds. When I get home, she's not calling me to her room. She's not saying, let's watch a movie. She's literally leaving me alone, which is what I be asking for anyways. I really didn't care. But then Saturday morning, remember, y'all, we had before all this fight not even happened, we had already agreed to do something together on Saturday. So I woke up on Saturday and I texted her and I said, are we still doing something together? And she said, I think we should have a conversation first. And I was like, okay, I guess, shit. So I came downstairs, right? And when I came downstairs, she was like, you don't have anything to say to me? Oh, fast forward. So the day after this argument happened, I sent her a text. And I said, I apologized, even though I wasn't wrong. I didn't apologize by saying, oh, I was wrong. I apologized by saying, I'm sorry I upset you. That's basically what I did. So keep that in mind. And she didn't accept my apology, by the way. She just basically told me it wasn't good enough. So that happened literally the day after. So keep that in mind too. So yeah. So we're back on Saturday now, and I was like, what's up? And she was like, you want to talk now? I said, yeah. She was like, she basically just doubled down on everything she had said when we had argued the first time. And over again, when I said, why can't you just respect that boundary? She literally said, I'm your mother. I don't have to respect that boundary. You let me do what I want to do to you, and you don't say anything about it. She literally said that. She said, if I want to touch you, I'll touch you, because I'm not touching you inappropriately. So if I want to touch you and you don't want to be touched, it doesn't matter. I'm going to touch you anyway. That's literally what she said. And I said, and I'm supposed to be okay with that? And she said, yes. And I said, okay. Because there's no winning, bro. There's no winning. I was so mad after that, y'all. Like, oh, I was so mad. I was like, what is that about? Like, she just literally does not respect my boundaries. I was like, bruh. So that's okay. So that happened maybe a month ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. I guess that's some of the background, because I did what my therapist said. I said I put my foot down. But then in the end, I ended up like giving it to her anyway, because she said she was gonna do what she wanted, and I just said okay. Even though I said okay, it doesn't mean I'm actually gonna let her do it. But that's like, I didn't fight back anymore, because at that point we're going on 3 days. I'm like, bro, what else is there to say? So, and when that happened and we were arguing, she literally said, this is how you're gonna get kicked out. This is how you're gonna get cut off by not listening to me. She literally said, your brothers, when I tell them what to do, they say yes ma'am and they do it. But with you, every time I tell you something, you like to argue back. And I was like, yeah, I like to argue back. And I don't know why they don't. You're not finna tell me anything. You're not finna talk to me any type of way and expect me not to say anything or do anything. Like, hello, I'm gonna stand up for myself. I don't care. Even if it has to take 7 hours of arguing and then I finally give it to you, then you gotta fight for it. I'm not just gonna give it to you, because you be saying all types of stuff and it's always whatever you says goes. No, because I feel some type of way too. Like, hello, you're 47 and your mom still tries to dictate your life. Yeah. Sounds like she doesn't. Oh, she doesn't accept change. She doesn't change. She likes to be in control of everything, and she doesn't like change, like at all. So okay, that's the background. That is the background. So let me tell y'all what happened Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So what happened was, as y'all can hear, I'm like kind of stuffed up. My throat is kind of whatever. I'm kind of sick, right? I'm kind of sick, right? So she had wanted to go. She's also kind of sick, by the way. She had wanted to go to the store, right? Your location I just on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Alright, let me try that out. Okay, so basically what happened was we were going to the store. She was bringing me to the store because I know, but the song I haven't heard the song so long I just had to. But basically what happened was I was going to the store for her. She was gonna bring me to the store, but she didn't want to get out because she was tired. I was like, okay, I'll go to the store with you, but can I get some orange juice too? Like, and I know you're probably asking, why are you asking her if you're allowed to get orange juice? That's no, I wasn't asking if I could get orange juice. When I was like, can you pay for it? Because I don't want to spend my money on orange juice. So I was like, can I get orange juice too? She said, okay, yeah, go get some orange juice. Keep this in mind. She said, okay. She said yes to buying me orange juice. Okay, let's keep this in mind. So I go to the store. I go to Walmart. She just wanted me to get her some conditioner for her hair because she wanted to wash her hair in the morning. So I got her the conditioner, and then I'm looking around for some orange juice. And I'm like, damn, like for some reason Walmart was just out of juice. Like they only had like the big bottles. I didn't want a big bottle, I just wanted a personal bottle. So they didn't have any bottles of orange juice. So and then they didn't have any juice. They had like other stuff. So I was like, damn, they ain't got no juice. So I was like, well, they ain't got no juice, so I'm gonna get a coffee instead. Like, you know those little Starbucks coffee things? I got one of those. And I also got a sweet potato pie. Like one of those small, like 80-cent sweet potato pies. Cause the reason I wanted juice is because I just wanted something sweet to drink, but I didn't want like soda or anything like that. But I wanted something sweet. So I got that, right? So I get back in the car, she's like, what did you get? You got some orange juice? I said, no, they didn't have any orange juice. She said, oh, you got apple juice? I said, no. She said, grape juice? I said, no. She said, what'd you get? I said, I ain't getting any juice. They didn't have juice. She said, oh, so what'd you get? I said, I got coffee. And then she was like, why did you get coffee? The coffee and juice is not the same thing. And I was like, because they didn't have juice, so I got coffee. Like, and because I said, I just wanted something sweet to drink. And then she said, no, that's wasteful. I'm like, how is that? How is that wasteful? I don't understand how that's wasteful. And she goes, because you said you were getting juice. And instead of getting juice, you got coffee. We have coffee at home. I was like, yes, okay, but we also have juice at home. We have juice at home, but we don't have the juice that I wanted. So I was going to the store to get juice, which you agreed to buy me. Is that not wasteful? Like that, by your logic, is that not also wasteful? Why is juice okay but coffee isn't? And yeah, how is it wasteful if I'm gonna drink it? That doesn't even make any sense. And just like, well, we got coffee at home. Yeah, but we didn't have the coffee I wanted, so I got the coffee I wanted. Just like they don't have the juice I wanted, and I was gonna get the juice that I wanted, and you said it was okay. So what is the big deal? And she was like, listen, it's wasteful, okay? It's wasteful. You have bad habits with your money, and you're wasting your money. It's wasteful. You don't need that. And I was like, how is it wasteful if I was getting juice because... What was I talking about? What was I talking about? I just lost it completely. Okay, why is that wasteful? Because I wanted juice. I wanted something sweet to drink, juice, so I was gonna get juice. But instead, I got coffee, and it's something I still want to drink, and it's something... Oh, how is it wasteful? And she just kept saying over and over again that it's wasteful. And then she was like, listen, you need to listen to me because I don't be telling you stuff to be mean to you. I tell you stuff to help you know things and help you not get bad habits of wasting money. I'm like, how is that wasteful? And in my head, I wanted to say so bad. I'm like, so by your logic, when you go to Starbucks and you get a caramel frappuccino, when we have coffee, caramel syrup, whipped cream, ice in a blender at home, isn't that wasteful? Because by your logic, we have all the stuff to make it at home, which means you could have made it at home, and you didn't. you went to Starbucks. So doesn't that also make you wasteful? Or isn't it wasteful when you literally cook and we have food in the refrigerator? Thanksgiving was literally yesterday and our refrigerator is completely full. Yet today you were trying to go to Waffle House and get food even though we have food at home. By your logic, by your definition, isn't that wasteful? Isn't that wasteful? So aren't you saying that you're wasteful? You're probably the most wasteful person in this house, if we're being honest. So what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? Like, for real, what are we even talking about here? So I'm like, anyway, so yeah, so she called me wasteful. Okay, so we had that back and forth in the car, and I said, okay, and I just stopped talking. So then we get home, and I was like, I'm finna go on a walk with my best friend, because my best friend, she now lives down the street from me, so I can see her more. So I'm like, I'm finna go on a walk with my best friend, I'm finna walk the dog, whatever. And she was like, okay, but come here before you do that. I'm like, okay, thank you for the 100. I'm like, okay, what you want? Like, what's up? She goes, I need you to do something for me. I'm like, okay, what you need me to do? What you need me to do? Oh, forehead reveal. Oh. Anyways, I'm like, what you need me to do? She goes, what did she say? She goes, I need you to stop being such a smart ass. I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, what are you talking about? She goes, I'm gonna need you to stop being such a smart ass. I'm like, when was I? Like, what are you talking about? She goes, in the car when I was trying to tell you, and you act like you know everything. You act like a know-it-all. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you was over here always trying to argue with me. If I tell you something wasteful, it's wasteful. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you always try to argue with me. And I said, no, I don't try to argue with you. What happens is you tell me something that sounds stupid. I didn't say sound stupid, but you tell me something. And instead of just saying, okay, yes, ma'am, and listening to what you say, I ask you questions and I ask you why you say what you say. Because I don't just take stuff. You can't just tell me to do something and not tell me why I'm doing it. You cannot just tell me something is the way something is and not explain to me how or why it's the way it is. So when you tell me something, I ask questions because you need to talk about it. And instead of answering my questions, you yell at me and you say I'm arguing with you, but I'm not arguing with you. So what are we talking about? No, I didn't watch Stranger Things. I've never seen Stranger Things in my life, ever. Okay, so what was I talking about? Don't actually answer when I say what I'm talking about. You don't have to remind me because I just need to. Okay, yeah. So that happens, right? And then she goes, well, it's your tone. When you ask questions, it sounds like you're trying to argue. And I said, you know what? Okay, fine. I can accept that. I can accept that sometimes it probably is my tone because I be annoyed. No, I'm not even annoyed because I be on the defense because I ask a question and instead of you answering it, you start yelling at me. So then I get defensive. So I can understand how you feel that way. But that is not the case and that's not actually what's going on. So I said what I said. And then she said, okay. And I said, okay. And then she said, why did you say okay like that? I'm like, damn, lady, you cannot let us just have one conversation without you finding something wrong with what I'm saying. Like, come on, we can't even talk, bro. We can't even talk. And I'm like, I said okay. Like, I can change my tone when I ask you questions, but you gotta answer the damn questions instead of getting mad at me and defensive. And you know why she gets mad and defensive? It's because she says things and she doesn't actually have a reason or an answer when I ask why or how. She told my brothers, because she was talking to all of us. She said, spending money on this when you have this is wasteful. You know what both my brothers said? They both said, yes, ma'am. You know what I said? How is that wasteful? Why is that wasteful? I don't understand if that's wasteful if I'm gonna drink it. I don't understand if that's wasteful if that's not what I originally wanted, but it's still something that I did want. So I don't understand how that's wasteful. I don't get it. I don't understand. And then she gets mad at me talking about I'm arguing with her and I'm a know-it-all, I'm a smart ass. No, I'm not none of that. All I did was ask you questions and you can't even give me the answers because you wanna argue, bro. I cannot win. Oh, I literally cannot win, bro. So anyway, how the hell did the views just go to 80 to 17? Am I tripping? Anyway, life's better on Saturn. Gotta break this pattern. Okay, so that was literally. Right, she should be grateful I asked some questions. I don't know what she's talking about. So we get past that. So that was Friday. Now we're on Saturday, girl. So this really pissed me off. Saturday, oh shit, I wear these shoes. I walk out the house wearing these shoes. Okay, yeah, they've been through some things, and yes, they're dirty. Okay, but dirty Air Forces, that is character. Okay, there's nothing wrong with wearing dirty white shoes, right? They're dirty, and I know they're dirty, and that's okay. Like people specifically buy clean Converse, clean Vans, and clean Air Forces to get them dirty, to wear them dirty. That is like a normal thing, right? So I wear my dirty Air Forces everywhere, as I should, because that's like a staple shoe. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, my brother, right, exactly, because they're creased. But anyway, my brother has Air Forces, my little brother, and I mean, they're spotless because he doesn't like the dirty Air Force look, so he keeps them clean. So every time I wear my freaking Air Force, he's like, "Your brothers don't look like that. Your brothers don't. You wear these dirty, dingy." And every time she talks about my shoes, I just laugh because I'm like, okay, who cares? Because literally nobody cares. So we was out, and she was like, listen, and here she go talk to me again. She was like, listen, when I tell you things, I'm not telling you things to be mean. I'm telling you things to help you. And she was like, people judge you on the way you look and how you and wear your clothes. It's unfortunate, but it's true. They judge you. And I'm like, okay. Like, so far my BS detector didn't go off because, okay, that's facts, but now what are you saying now? And she's like, you gotta stop wearing those shoes because they're dirty and they're dingy. She's like, I don't, like, you're not supposed to be wearing dirty shoes. Like, that's not right. You can't wear shoes when they're dirty. You don't take care of them. And I'm like, and she's like, and you should care what people think about you. And she's like, especially at your age, people your age definitely are gonna judge your dirty Air Forces. BS detector went off because what are we even talking? That's not even true. Like, she's old, bro. She's literally old. She's old. She's literally old, y'all. And she's on the way home. She'll be home in like 5 minutes, so I gotta get off live. So let me try to get to the point that I'm trying to make. So I'm like, that's not true. And I'm like, Llama, she's too bougie. She barely wears the same pair of shoes twice, so she doesn't wear them enough to get them dirty. She has 50 billion shoes, but she won't buy me a pair. I gotta buy my own shoes. And I'm like, but I don't need shoes right now. Like, they're perfectly fine. They're literally perfectly fine. So I was like, this is so stupid considering people our age, everybody like that, like the white Air Force Ones, dirty or clean, it's like the staple shoe that almost everybody has. Nobody is judging anybody for wearing dirty Air Forces, bro. That's so freaking stupid. So by the way, guys, I'm now banned from wearing these shoes, and I've been looking on Nike all morning to get some new shoes because and got some Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals because she's mad, and I'm not allowed to wear those shoes ever again in her house. So there's that. Did she grow up in Beverly Hills? No, but she's spoiled, bro. Very spoiled all her life. But yeah, so now I gotta get new shoes. I gotta get like 2 new pairs of shoes. This stuff is so annoying, bro. Yeah, I purposely dirtied my Converse. I was trying to tell her that, but she's old and she thinks she knows everything. She's not even that old, but she's old enough to not know, what people in our generation do, and she acts like she knows everything and she doesn't. And every time she be yelling at me talking about you're smart, I should know it all. That's her projecting, talking about herself. That's herself. That's not me. That is not me. Anyway, I just said, I do have to get off live because now she's home and she's about to ruin my life for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna try not to end it all and jump off a cliff this whole night until I get till tomorrow. Get through to tomorrow. Thank you for the floating art. Thank you so much. I just had to tell y'all, give y'all a little rant, and I gotta, I had to see if I was in the wrong, because sometimes I'm like, am I tweaking? Maybe I am wrong. Thank you for 100. Maybe I am wrong, but yeah, y'all told me that I'm not wrong. So I like your shower hat. Thank you. And y'all, this was like low-key a lit live. Like, the views got to 80 a couple times. Like, what? Y'all just be wanting to hear gossip. All right, y'all, I gotta go to Thank you for the 100. Bye, everybody. Oh, and guys, I should be able to go live more now. I'm about to be on winter break in like 2 weeks. Thank you for the gift, Presley. So, this is y'all.